The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
When Jesus had come into the temple area, the chief priests and the elders of the people approached him as he was teaching and said, "By what authority are you doing these things? And who gave you this authority?" Jesus said to them in reply, "I shall ask you one question. If you answer it for me, then I shall tell you by what authority I do these things. Where was John's baptism from? Was it of heavenly or of human origin?" They discussed this among themselves and said, "If we say of heavenly origin, he will say to us, 'Then why did you not believe him?' But if we say of human origin, we fear the crowd, for they all regard John as a prophet." So they said to Jesus in reply, "We do not know." He himself said to them, "Neither shall I tell you by what authority I do these things." Brothers and sisters, the Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Please be seated.
Minsan maging tayo man ay nararanasan natin na mahirap makipag-usap sa mga taong ayaw naman tayong intindihin. O kung ano man, kahit na anong liwanag o kahit na kahaba o kalinaw ang paliwanag natin, kapag ang kausap natin ay ayaw makinig o mayroon ng buong pasya sa kanyang utak, no words or no amount of words will be enough to convince somebody who is already close-minded and is actually hard-hearted. Kaya nga, kapag ang kausap natin ay sarado ang puso, minsan we treat them in the same manner. Na lang din, kasi sayang ang effort, sayang ang ating panahon na iniuukol sa taong kausap natin na wala namang mararating ang ating usapan. Kaya nga kapag kapabalang, minsan ang sagot sa atin ng kausap natin, minsan nagiging pabalang na rin tayo. Because sometimes we are pushed to the limits or to that wall wherein we have to speak the language that the person we talk with can understand. Kung kanya naiintindihan lamang ay puro negativity o puro kapangitan, minsan sakyan mo na lang yung kanyang trip, para maintindihan kanya. At you have to speak the language that that person speaks in order to make worth of the while that you spend with that person. So sa Ebanghelyo binasa natin ay ganun din. It is an encounter between Jesus and the Pharisees. And we know every time Jesus would encounter the Pharisees, they would never have a good, unfruitful conversation. Because in the minds of the Pharisees and the scribes, isa lang ang nasa kanilang isipan kung paano hanapan ng mali, kung paano hanapan ng kapintasan, ang lahat ng ginagawa at sinasabi ng ating Panginoon. They would never see any good thing or any positive thing in what Jesus is saying. Every time Jesus would speak, every time Jesus would teach, they would always question. So in what authority? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you blaspheming? Why are you invoking the name of God? Why are you healing the sick? It's only God who can heal. It's only God who can forgive. And who are you? So everything that Jesus did and said were always put to question by the scribes and the Pharisees. They would never see any good thing in everything that Jesus did. And again, this is another occasion wherein Jesus had to deal with these scribes and the Pharisees. And so they were asking Jesus a lot of questions. And so the answer of Jesus to their question is actually another question. So if you keep questioning me, then I will give you the answer that you deserve. Another question. So this is one way, yung sinasabi ko kanina, speaking the language of the people you are talking with, para magkaintindihan kayo, para magtumalab ang iyong sinasabi. Kaya nga tinanong ng Panginoon sa kanila, bilang sagot sa kanilang mga tanong, sila na ang hindi makasagot, no, sa tanong ng ating Panginoon. Sapagkat alam nila kapag sinagot nila, either way, no, they will be put into trap. Actually, Jesus turned, no, the table around. So instead of the Pharisees trapping Jesus, now Jesus is the one trapping the Pharisees. He gave them a question they cannot answer. Because if they answer on one side or on one way, they would be risking themselves. And if they answer it the other way, no, it would also not give them a good reputation. And so they were silenced. So that was the only way. So sometimes, no, even God has to deal with us, no, in the language, no, that we can understand. No, minsan, no, kung kailan wala tayong pasyensya, no, minsan ganoon din, mas tumatagal, no, yung sagot sa ating mga dasal. No, kaya nga pinaparamdam sa atin ng Panginoon kung ano yung sinasabi natin, kung ano yung gusto natin, no, na it takes a virtue, no, to deal with God. We have to be virtuous, we have to be patient, we have to be humble before God. No? So in our prayers, no, we cannot demand, no, from God. Nanghihingi lang tayo, nagsusumamo tayo, no, sa mga panalangin natin. No, hindi pwedeng bigyan natin ng kondisyon ng Panginoon, no, kapag may hinihingi tayo. No, kapag ibinigay mo sa akin ito, magsisimba ako araw-araw, magdadasal ako. Pero kapag hindi mo binigay sa akin ang aking hinihingi, agad-agad, no, kakalimutan na rin kita. No, sometimes we become so conditional with God. And sometimes we are demanding before God. No? We ask this and that and this and that, no, and so many other things. Kaya nga ang paalala sa atin ng Panginoon, no, be careful. Be careful what you ask for or what you pray for. You might have it all, and you may not like all of it. No, kaya nga, it takes patience, it takes humility. No, at ito ang nais ng Panginoon sa atin every time we encounter Him. And so, we are here today preparing ourselves for the season, the most joyous season, no, of the year, Christmas season, the coming of the Lord into our lives. And just as what we have talked about today, no, as we receive Jesus, we receive Him with patience, we receive Him with humility, because He comes into the world in great humility, in a manger, where and when everyone or no one welcomed Him. And so it only takes a humble heart and a patient heart to understand the language of God.